Story is called, of course, The Pair of Old Shoes. The story is of a master and a disciple. The disciple here is Amir Khusro, the very famous Urdu poet, if you've heard about him. He's also called the father of Urdu literature, the father of Qawwali. He's the one who's got ghazal as a format to the song that we have right now. He was disciple of Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, a very very well-known Sufi saint. So the story is about when Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia was alive. It is said that anybody who visited Nizamuddin Aulia would never come back empty-handed. So with this hope, there was a man, old man, who had to get his daughter married. Felt that I should go and visit the Sufi saint, and he might be able to help me. So he goes to meet Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia and tells him that, I want to get my daughter married. Could you just help me? Nizamuddin Aulia listens to him and tells him, "Oh, my good man, can you stay with me for the next 3 days? Any offerings that come to me for the next 3 days, I will give it to you." The man was very happy and he decided to stay back. The first day happened. Many people came to meet Nizamuddin Aulia, but nobody got any offerings. He said, maybe let me wait for the second day. Second day passed by. Third day passed by. There were tons of people who came to meet Nizamuddin Aulia, but nobody got any offerings. This man was very disheartened. He was heartbroken because he knew that it was time for him to leave. And there was nothing that he could see had come as offering which could help him. But what can the man do? It was time for him to leave. He went to Nizamuddin Aulia and said, "It's time for me to leave." And Nizamuddin Aulia, at that time, there was a pair of old shoes. He gave that man those pair of old shoes and said, "Take this, of whatever they are worth of." The man was a good man, though he was disheartened. He had the hopes that he had come with, nothing had come true. He still took those shoes with a smile and said thank you and left from there. In those days when people had to meet each other, they had to travel for days. I think walking was one of the main modes of transport. So while he was going back, he was crying, he was mourning. He didn't know what to say to his family because he had come so far to meet the Sufi saint, and what he gets in return is just a pair of old shoes. So this man decides that before reaching to his place, he'll stop by a near village and sell those shoes. Maybe what he could just get is a supply for a few days, a food supply for a few days. So while he was walking, he was walking through desert. He suddenly sees a huge caravan, a rich caravan, which has many camels, and all camels are carrying some kind of treasure: gold, silver, coins, many such. The caravan was headed by Amir Khusro. At that point of time, Amir Khusro was an advisor to many kings. So he was returning from Kabul with retiring from one of his service to the kings. So that's the gift that he was carrying in return. So Amir Khusro, while he was approaching closer to this man, suddenly felt very uncomfortable, just got down from his camel and started looking here and there. What he could really feel, he could smell the fragrance of his master. But he was surprised to see that his master was not seen anywhere. He again got back on his camel and started to move ahead. As he moved ahead, he realized that the fragrance that he could smell was coming from behind. But what he could see in the entire desert was nothing but this man. He went to the man and he asked this man, out of a lot of curiosity, "Who are you? Where are you coming from?" Of course, this man was so miserably heartbroken. He wanted somebody to share his story. He mentioned the entire 3-day story. He said to him what had happened, and what he has only right now is this pair of shoes. Amir Khusro immediately, got down on his knees and asked this man, "Oh, my man, can you give the shoes to me? Can you sell the shoes to me?" The man was like, "Why not, sir? I was about to sell it in the next village. I'll be more than happy to give it to you. What will I get in return?" Amir Khusro said, "I promise to give you a good deal." The man smiled and looked forward to what was in store for him. Amir Khusro said, "This entire caravan is the cost for the shoes for you. Except, can you just leave those 2 camels who are carrying me, my wife, and my children?" The man was completely speechless. He didn't know what to say. he was very, very happy because he knew that this treasure was not just enough for getting his daughter married, but also for spending his whole life. He really thanked Amir Khusro, gave him the pair of old shoes, and took his journey ahead to the village. Amir Khusro was very happy, started crying, weeping. He was very happy with a lot of happiness. He took the pair of shoes, kept them on his head, and immediately started his journey to meet his master. When he reached Nizamuddin Aulia Sarkar in Delhi, he offered those pair of shoes at his feet and just bowed down. Nizamuddin Aulia at that time looked at him and smiled and said, "How much did you pay for these?" He said, "I gave everything, my entire karma, except these two camels who were carrying me and my family." Nizamuddin Aulia said, "You still got them for cheap." He again repeated, "You have paid less for these shoes," and smiled. When he looked at Amir Khusro, he could see the burning love of Amir Khusro for his master. And at that moment, Nizamuddin Aulia ordained that whenever we die, you will be buried next to me. Even today, when you go to the shrine of Hazrat Nizamuddin, you first see the tomb of Amir Khusro, and then you see the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia. If I could give a reference to Kun Fayakun song, if you heard, that's in the praise of Nizamuddin Aulia, and that's the shrine. And it is also said, and it was told by him, any person who comes to offer prayers to me has to first offer prayers to my beloved disciple, which is Khusro. And to me, this is a true example of love and gratitude of a master and a disciple, of how they loved each other and how they contained the love and sustained it. And that's my story of love and gratitude of Amir Khusro and Nizamuddin Ali. Thank you.